As the only member of Southern Comfort that actually had no solos but only speaking parts, I think it's appropriate that I should be the one to do the voiceover for this little retrospective on Doc. Gordon Spice was hired by Washington and Lee University in 1973 to teach music history, music appreciation, teach voice, and direct the Glee Club. Even as a young man, he was already sharing his ready smile. Quickly, he raised the standards of singing in the Glee Club and took them on tours to places such as Puerto Rico in 1974. Gordon, during these years at W&L, could be seen at many football games. Here, he's in the company of his sons, Reed and baby Graham. Already his son Reed was showing interest in music by coming to the Glee Club rehearsals. And very quickly, Doc established a pattern of taking the Glee Club on international tours in even-numbered years, alternating with domestic tours in the odd-numbered years. Here's a happy Glee Club on a successful tour of Jamaica in 1976. One of the secrets of his choral conducting success was his intense focus on the music and the students. A domestic tour to New York City in 1977 included this irreverent trip to St. Patrick's Cathedral on Fifth Avenue. Then the first international tour across the ocean in 1980 to England included an impromptu performance by the Glee Club in the historic and resonant Westminster Abbey. Doc always managed to stay organized and keep his cool even through all the vagaries of international travel, all the different languages, lost passports, and all the things that could go wrong with so many people on a trip. In 1982, a very large and popular Glee Club visited Germany, ably assisted by Bob Youngblood, Gordon's colleague in the German department. There would be many similar trips to Germanic lands in the future. In 1984, followed another international trip to England, this time also including Wales, and the place my family lived, near Hexton in Hitchin in England. Of course, Gordon was not just the director of the Glee Club, but also an advisor to a highly popular a cappella group known as Southern Comfort. One of the regular highlights for SoCo was their stint during the Christmas break at the Greenbrier Hotel. There, they entertained the guests with their music and a lot of their antics. On those occasions, Gordon was also at the hotel to make sure everyone performed well and maintained their reputations as fine W&L gentlemen. Occasionally, W&L celebrities such as Jim and Celeste Whitehead were guests at the hotel and expressed their delight and appreciation of SoCo's efforts. SoCo was often featured on Glee Club tours to provide lighter entertainment. Here they are on a domestic tour to California in April of 1985. In 1984, President John Wilson made a historic decision to admit women to the university. Such a decision had a strong and positive impact on the music department, especially in how it affected the choral program. We finally actually had altos and sopranos. The first full class of women came in the fall of 1985. Gordon Spice, responding to the needs of the time, founded the University Chorus. What has always attracted singers to Gordon Spice as a professor is not just his excellence as a teacher and a choral director, but also his friendliness and sociability. For many years, an informal get-together in the fall at Skylark helped everyone get acquainted and have a little fun together. Then the goodwill carried over into serious music making. Doc's boys were growing up and getting to know the members of the choral groups, some of whom were excellent babysitters. How much fun were those trips abroad because of Doc's ability to seize a moment and grab a costume. For example, here's Beefeater Spice on the 1988 trip to England, or square dancing in 1989 with Margaret Pimblett, or demonstrating hand puppet techniques. Gordon loved England, often taking the choral groups there on tour or staying for the spring term to teach a course on the musical life of London. In the summer of 1989, he took his entire family there, and here enjoyed punting on the River Avon in Stratford. In 1991, the newly constructed Lenfest Center opened, helping to give a great performance space for both the music and the theater departments. To help us celebrate, the renowned Robert Shaw came to conduct the orchestra and the choruses on January 19, 1991. It was one of those great and wonderful moments for the music department, and for Gordon Spice, it was one of the greatest milestones of his career. In 1995, the department honored President Wilson on his retirement, especially because he was such a devoted music lover. Gordon Spice also worked many seasons for Rob Fury in the Alumni College program, both on campus and abroad. Here Doc is meeting up with John and Rob at a lovely spot in England. Of course, to really get away from it all, Gordon disappeared a couple of weeks in the summer to Northern Ontario and the family cottage that his grandfather had built. It was a wonderful place to relax, to regenerate, and to spend quality time with his family. In 1992, Gordon decided to revamp the choral program by forming another new co-ed group, the Chamber Singers. This select group became ambassadors overseas for the university. In 1996, in the company of colleague Larry Betch of the Romance Languages Department, the Chamber Singers went with Doc to Spain. Gordon was not always on the directing side of the stage. Here he is in a great shot singing next to Scott Williamson in a performance of Schubert's Mass in D. In that performance, he was also featured as a tenor soloist. Another international trip in 1998 to the Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Hungary prompted the inevitable student to make the comparison of the Chamber Singers to the Spice Girls. In 2000, the Chamber Singers' trip to Spain was succeeded by yet another successful spring term in London. The international tours continued, in 2004 to Croatia, Slovenia, and Italy. In 2006 to South America. In 2006, the music department finally got its own new home with the building of Wilson Hall and a performance space dedicated solely for music performances. Gordon was delighted with the acoustics in the hall. It's the very space you're in tonight. The Chamber Singers appeared in several different venues in Lexington. The chancel of Lexington Presbyterian Church was particularly special to him for several reasons. After its renovation, it seemed to acquire great acoustics for choral singing, but it also housed an organ for which Gordon had led the committee to acquire the new instrument for the church. So it's not surprising that the last official conducting task Gordon had before he stepped down as head of choral activities in 2009 was to present the Chamber Singers one last time at Lexington Presbyterian Church, singing some of his favorite French repertoire from Claude Debussy and Gabriel Fauré. Since then, of course, Gordon has continued to thrive by teaching history and appreciation courses, all of them very popular with the students, and leading the department with his positive spirit and his ready smile. On the travels and adventures that I got to take part in, Doc always knew when to be serious and when to let go and have fun. And as witnessed by the turnout tonight, he has been a role model for hundreds of us. So let me be the first to say, thank you, Doc.